See, well, there we are. Okay. All right. We are live. No questions yet, folks. We're going to have a Q&A section. And we use the comment section. So, where we have our, when it's time to answer questions. So. Okay, we're going to get ready here. All right, folks, we're going to get going. My name is Rod Larrabee. I am from Vancouver, Canada. Originally moved to Panama 12 and a half years ago. Met my business partner down here within a few months, and we started this little company, Retire in Panama. And we offer 7-day tours, 3-day tours of Cherokee Province, private tours. So that's what we do. But we are unlike many of the other tour companies in town. We do small group tours. There's typically an average of 10 people on our tours. Sometimes there's 12, sometimes there's 8. It all depends. We don't do giant bus loads of 30 people at a time. There's 3 of us, Oscar, Megan, and myself. Oscar's been in Panama 15 years and has been in the relocation business for more than 12 of that. In fact, he was my relocation guide when I came to Panama 12 and a half years ago. Megan is from Philadelphia, and she is now Oscar's wife. And she's been with us 5 years and on the tours every month in the beginning. And now she has a young baby, and she is the operations director. She onboards everyone on the tour and gets you going and meets up with us on the last 3 days of the tours. And then myself, I said I moved here in 2011 from Vancouver. I moved here in my 40s. So I was 47, I believe it was. And like I said, within 3 months, I needed some help. I asked around Boquete where I had moved to, and everyone told me, Oscar Pena is your guy. Oscar Pena is your guy. So I met with him, and he fixed all the mistakes I had made and got me going straight. And we formed a company, and we started doing local tours and private relocation tours back in 2013. And then we expanded that to the current group tours and the current company we have back in 2018. So we know our stuff. Between the 3 of us, we have 25 years experience helping people move here. So that's what we are. And we have something unique with our tours. We offer personal after tour support. We don't send you to a Facebook page or some guide or something. When you want to move here, that's when we get together at no additional cost. We have a Zoom with you privately. We make your checklist and help you get going. And you have our cell phone numbers and our personal email, and adjourn the process of your move. We can help you from everything, shipping belongings to finding a place to live, to moving your pets, to getting your first card, getting your driver's license, all that stuff. And of course, immigration, health insurance. So that's who we are. If you want to contact us, folks, please just go to the website, as you see there, retireinpanamatours.com, and fill in this contact form. Now, if you're looking for something more specific, then look here. Go to the More tab. Of course, on a phone is the 3 little dots. You'll see there's forms for immigration, there's forms for health insurance, forms for international mover and pet relocation. So on these forms, obviously, we're going to get a little bit more information from you so we can connect you with the right professional. So that is my sales job of the night. Okay, we're all done. You guys can all go now. Just kidding. Okay, so What we do here, guys, is I'm going to, no questions yet, please. And oh, actually, you can start with questions. Almost everyone has introduced themselves and stuff. So you can start with questions in the comments. Let's try to keep the comments clean for questions only. But I'm going to talk about a few specific areas that Canadians have different to. I'm going to bring up a slideshow. Now, I've selected in no particular order. These are 4 areas that I think are very important. I think more, there could be 5. How it's different for a Canadian citizen. Number one, if you're planning to move here permanently, like not 6 months here, 6 months back home, you're going to lose your Canadian health insurance. Okay. Now, the first year, you can probably hold on to it. You can get an extension for a year. Sometime you got to talk to your provincial health how to do that. But you want some type of health insurance. Panama has a 2-tiered healthcare system. They have a public system and a private system. I'm not going to sit here and bash the public system. It's what most of Panamanians use. And I know many expats, lower income expats, that also use it and they're fine with it. I'm not, but it's lacks they lack medicine. They have long wait times. Um, they have lack nurses, doctors, specialists, stuff like that. It's just not an excellent system. Where on the other side, the private system is excellent, but you need insurance with the private system. Even though the costs are much less than North America, you still don't want to be stuck with a $30,000-$40,000 bill because you had something major happen to you. So I always advise people to get insurance. Now, I'm using myself as an example. I've gone through the entire insurance thing many, many times. I've helped many of our guests through this and purchase. I'll mention a couple companies I like. The only, you know why I like? Your insurance is as good as do they pay? Simple. Are you going to get paid for your claim? Now, my personal insurance, I select this company called MapFree. It's an international company. I'll give you the details later on it. Now, what I have $1,000 deductible in Panama, Central America, and Colombia. No deductibles on emergencies or hospitals. Okay, it's 100% paid. There is no copay. Like if I get hit by a bus and I got taken to the hospital, everything is paid 100%. Okay. And or if I have a surgery, let's say the doctor says, "Hey, Rod, you need a heart stick." Okay, what do you do? I get it pre-approved by the insurance company, and I go have my surgery. It's 100%. So there's no money out of and there's no money out of my pocket. It's not like a reimbursement insurance. It's insurance within Panama. All the major private hospitals are networked with the major health companies, insurance companies I'm going to talk to you about. And I selected the highest worldwide deductible possible. That cut my premium in half, folks. I selected a $10,000 worldwide deductible. So when I travel back to Canada or I go into the US, if something happens to me, I have to pay the first $10,000 and then everything else is covered. But what works great for that, I found many people doing this, you buy some lower cost. For me, at my age, at 60, it's $60 a week gap insurance. It's just an insurance, a low amount of insurance to cover your deductible and the small things. Yes, you have to prepay it. You have a credit card that can handle it. So, if I broke my leg in, skiing down Whistler, I don't ski, by the way. But anyway, if I did that and the bill was $9,000, I would have to cover that. And then I submit that bill to my whoever I chose for my gap insurance for that trip. It's basically travel insurance. Okay. So I pay $240 a month for this insurance. And that's my new rate when I turn 60. At 65, the current rate is about $300. Now, I find that very relaxed, very nice. What I find expats do, they think about health insurance last. They look at their budget. Okay, I have this much to spend on rent. And I get distressed when I meet people here that are paying $1,900 a month for this beautiful house for rent, but they don't have health insurance, where they could have easily found $1,000, $1,200 home, which would have been just as good and be fully covered for their health insurance. Now, for those of you guys that are going to travel back and forth, you're going to find out the cost of health insurance because you're going to buy that in Canada, basically. It's very difficult to buy health insurance temporarily here. There are some hospital plans you can, but every time you do, you have to come here. You got to go through the medical. You have to get approved, and then you start paying your health insurance. Well, you're going to be a couple months without it as you go through the medicals and get it improved and get it reinstated every time. So you're going to have to get yourself covered back in Canada for your 5.5 months or whatever you're going to spend in Panama. One of the biggest myths I hear online is don't buy from an agent, buy from the actual company. Well, that's only true if you have a dishonest agent. And yes, they do exist. And number one key is if you buy an insurance from an agent and the agent asks you to make out the check or send the payment to them, they will make the monthly payments or the annual payment. Don't ever do that. If you're buying from an agent, you still should be paying the company. And it's very simple. Get your quotes from an agent. We have an agent that if you fill out that form that I showed you on retireinpanamatours.com under the health insurance, that I'm going to share my screen, will work with you like this. Hang on, just getting over screen sharing. She'll make this Excel sheet. This is my personal one of all the different companies. Let me tell you a few of them. MAPFRE, MAPFRE. Worldwide. Worldwide's an excellent one. A lot of retirees use it. Worldwide Exclusive is a really good plan. Vumi, Bupa, Mercantile Segundos, and I don't know the other one. So she'll make a spreadsheet up of all that, what they cover, what is my options for health insurance were actually, sorry, I forgot to share. This is the type of spreadsheet I'm telling you that they'll make up for you so you can make an informed decision. My options were between $200 and $700 a month. You can have health insurance here that will pay for, if you break a nail, it'll pay for 100% of your doctor's visits. A doctor's visit in my town is between $15 and $20. Specialist is, if you're in the city, you're going to be looking at $30 for that. Specialist here in this end of the country is between $50 and $100. So you don't really need insurance that covers 100% of that. See, mine, that's where my deductible comes in. I have $1,000 deductible, and because I have that, if I have more than $1,000 of doctor's visits, specialists, labs, stuff like that, then I can start making a claim on it. But it's very difficult. Then there's another option. There is a cheaper pay option, a cheaper option of health insurance. I personally am not excited about it. I find it more of a hospital discount program because you still pay 30% of the care. So it includes emergencies, hospitals, doctor visits, labs, all that stuff. So if you go in with your card to Hospital Cherokee, that's one of the places here that in my end of the country that they take, and you need an X-ray, you only pay 30% of the fee. But and if you get your, let's say your knee replacement approved and it's $12,000, you would have to pay $3,600 of that. But the prices are good. Oops. The prices are $102.60, $125, $65. You can get this up till almost $80, by the way. Actually, I know someone that was 81 that recently got it. On the international stuff, the cutoff is 75 years old. You can no longer apply if you're over 70, if you're 75 and over. If you're already enrolled, you get it for the rest of your life, but you can't apply. The one thing to remember about all health insurance in Panama It doesn't cover all pre-existing conditions. Now, what does that mean? A pre-existing condition is something major, and they will exclude. Let's say you had heart surgery, and fairly recently you got the big scar to prove it. They're probably going to exclude heart from your insurance, or they're going to make you wait 2 years for heart incidences, or they're going to charge you an extra premium. It all depends what it is. Every case is different, nor can I answer what um, what the insurance agent would have to find you. That's the best thing about an agent too, because one might exclude it and one might accept it. Things like high blood pressure or cholesterol that you're taking medicine for that are controlled, and you go to your medical and your blood pressure and cholesterol is fine, you're not going to have a huge problem with it. But type 2 diabetes, some companies accept it, and some company exclude for diabetes related conditions for 2 years. But if you're injecting insulin, none of them are going to insure you. So you have to look at other options from your home country there for sure. Um, we can ask specific, if anyone's got specific questions on health insurance. Is health insurance available at 78? Well, if you look at my page 2 here, this is called Family Medical Care by Pan Pacific Insurance, Lois. And a friend of mine who's 77 just got approved on this plan. And his rate was 155, I believe, for 75 to 80. Hey, Mary, all our calls are recorded. They're on our YouTube channel or on our website under the Q&A section. I'm going to be answering general comments, things I'm not talking about right now. Once we get through the 5 topics. So don't worry, I will answer your questions. Okay, so we're going to skip healthcare. No one's got any other direct healthcare. Banking. This is a contentious issue in the difference Canadians have. We have that exchange rate, which is really pesky. Okay. Now, to open a bank account here, these are the basic things you're going to be asked for. Some banks will ask for less, but none basically more. Proof of income. If you started your immigration, that's no problem. You're going to have the proof of income. Your lawyer's going to have that. They can provide a copy to the bank. If you don't have a pension, you're going to provide the last 2 years of your T4s. You need a reference letter from your Canadian bank. I don't know why Canadian banks have a hard time understanding what that is. All it is on letterhead saying John Doe has had a checking account with this Royal Bank for 11 years and the account is in good standing. Boom, signed. That's all a bank reference letter is. And you want to make sure that's current. You don't want something from a year ago. You want something from 30, 60 days max by the time you come here. Your lawyer will typically have to provide you a letter that you are in the process of immigration. Now, some banks require that you live here. All banks are supposed to require that you live here, but some banks are pretty lenient on that. I honestly, retire in Panama, Oscar, myself, and Megan, we tell you the truth, okay? I'm not going to tell you to go to this bank because they open accounts in 2 days and they're excellent. There is a bank like that in Panama, and I have helped more people leave that bank than I've sent to it because their customer service is horrible. The governor of banking, which controls the banking sector in Panama, issued in a statement January 2021 that you must be a resident in Panama to have a bank account. So, banks like to have a lease or a home purchase agreement. Sometimes they want a personal reference letter I write a lot of those for our tour guests that, they Panama citizen or permanent resident. Then you need a second ID, obviously, in your passport. and an initial deposit. Now, they want cash, US dollars, don't forget, for initial deposit. And you need to be in Panama to open the bank account. There are some lawyers out there that say, oh, we'll get you a bank account with, well, something funny is going on there because the governor of banking says you must be present to open a bank account. So we follow the laws of Panama. There's nothing I would, if we recommend you a bank account that your account gets suspended because you didn't follow the rules, we wouldn't be doing our job. Okay. So let's look a little bit. What happened to my slides? Oh yeah, my slides got mixed up. I'm skipping phone number and I'm going into how do you get money here on a regular basis. Okay, to get money here on a regular basis, I still say the best method is a company called Wise, WISE.com. If you're a Canadian, open it up when you're in Canada, get a Canadian account and a US account. This is a screenshot of my Wise account. I have $0. I don't keep money in my Wise account. I use it to convert the currency, and I'm going to show you why in the next screen, and I use it to send money here. Now, there are fees for typically sending wires and receiving wires. The fee for receiving in Panama is anywhere between $30 and $50, depending on your bank. The fees, US dollars. The fees for sending are anywhere between 45 and 65 Canadian. Now, Royal Banks just announced that they are doing this program with international wires and no cost in sending. That's nice, but let me show you the next screen of why I'm still not using that. I'm still using my Wise account. I deal with Royal Bank. Now, this is a program I found that, well, I just put it into the Royal Bank. If I converted $1,000 in my Royal Bank account or in my Wise account, look at the difference, guys. It's $16.70. You get more if you use Wise exchange rate compared to the Royal Bank exchange rate. So if you're sending $10,000, that's 60. That's $160 difference. Or if you're sending $5,000, that's like I did yesterday. That's it's $80 difference. So you send. There's many ways you can send money to your Wise account. You can send it to I'm missing a page of my slideshow, guys. I apologize. You can send money from a Canadian bank to Wise using email money transfer, Interact, bill pay, or even through PayPal. That's another way. I was going to talk to you about that. Michael is one of our former guests. Him and I have been working on Wise and how it's best to send. If you have a Canadian PayPal account, you can fund it with your Canadian bank account for no charge and deposit it into your Wise account for no charge. It will take like 2 days to do that. That's why I like email money transfer. I can send an email money transfer up to $8,000 a day, and it arrives in my Wise account in 20 minutes. And then I could send a wire from my Wise account to my Panama bank account, and the money is there within an hour. So I can get money here in one morning. Now, the good thing is, too, some banks in Panama, like Banco General, has reduced their wire fee in half for Wise transfers. So I'm now charged $18.75 in my Banco General account for an incoming wire transfer as opposed to $37 last month. And I had to phone and ask them, why is it so much cheaper? But it's a deal with Wise. So I can now move virtually any amount of money between $1,000 and $10,000 for $36. So it's really low, like 1/3%. So it's very affordable to do that. So just by using Wise, you'll save major money on your exchange fees and major money on your wire transfer fees. Now, if you're sending more than 10,000 US dollars, you can send as much money as you want. The wire fees are basically the same, by the way. I think Royal Bank has a cap on their free ones. So, and email money transfer and bill pay is a maximum Well, on my account, it's a maximum of 8,000 a day. So if you needed to buy a car or house, you would have to wire transfer from your Canadian bank to your Wise, do the exchange, and then send it on to Panama. Before it arrives in Panama, you should send to your bank by email, your bank manager, proof of where the funds came from. So you can send a 6 month statement of your Canadian bank account and what the money was for. So if you're buying a car, you would get an offer to purchase a letter from the car dealership or from the person you're buying the car from. Or the ad for the car. It doesn't matter. They just want to know. These are U.S. rules, by the way, U.S. money laundering rules that the world follows. And if you're buying a house, again, where the money came from, and then what it's for, you would have your house sale agreement. So that is sending money. Oh, okay. Now the questions on this. Yappy is good, Jeff and Kathy. How are you guys? And Yappy is a Banco General product only. It only works with people who have Banco General accounts. It is not like Zelle, which you could send Bank of America to, or sorry, it's not like email money transfer that you can send to any bank in Canada. So Yappy works good. It's the most popular bank, Banco General for sure. But we also, all the banks have what's called ACH Express now, which under $500 you can send money instantly to any person in Panama. So that works fine too. It works great for, why should he have a bank account? Well, you might have to pay your rent to a Panamanian person. They don't want a wire transfer. They don't want to deal with that stuff. And they want the money the day that is due. So you can send, ACH payments directly to your bank, to your gardener, to your maid, to your friend, to split up the bill from last night's dinner with friends. So you can pay your utility bills. Right now, if you are if you have electricity, that's funny. Your electrical bill comes every month, comes to you by email, or they stick it in your fence, which is really dumb because in the windy season it blows away, in the rainy season it gets all wet. But you can make it come to your email, and then if you don't pay it online banking, you virtually have to go to a payment center and stand in line and pay it cash. So yeah, you probably want a bank account here. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you get your money from Wise? Okay, that's what I was going to answer. You send a wire transfer. So if I go to my Wise account, there we go. I have my $1,000 Canadian in my account. I converted it to US. Now it's going to show I have $750 US. Then I'm going to click on my US account, and it's going to take me to the place send money, and I enter in my Panamanian bank details, which you'll save, obviously, so you don't have to enter them every time, and money will come to your Panama bank. Now, typically with most banks, I found it takes a day. Unless you do it early in the morning, it'll be there by late at night. Now, Banco General is taking like an hour, so we've obviously made some question. Okay, so let me clear up some of these questions, guys. Keep them coming. So if you don't have a bank account in Panama, no, you can't use, well, you can use Wise. You can use their credit card. When you sign up, they'll give you a credit card, and you can spend the money on the credit card. But you got to move it into your U.S. account because Panama uses U.S. dollars. Hi, Lois. You must be in the process of residency. Basically, as soon as you start residency, the lawyer can issue you a letter that Lois has started her permanent residency process, and the bank will accept that. Oop. Trevor, this we're not talking about the Dominica Republic here. Maybe they have a Q&A. The Panama banks have great question, Sandra. Panama banks do not have deposit insurance. You'll find most Latin American, South American banks don't. European Union does, US does, Canada does. Um, but since they don't have deposit insurance, why don't they have deposit insurance? Panama banks haven't failed at a consumer level. So typically, that's what starts people insuring them. Would Banco Nacional make people whole? Good question. I certainly wouldn't move all your money into a Panama bank account. I keep my, spending money here, a bit of savings, stuff like that. Okay. Um, Mary, ACH, it's automated clearing house. Just a method of bank to bank transfer with no fees. Yeah, they don't. Sorry, it's not a term us Canadians know much. So, well, can I get a personal reference if you haven't had your lawyer might issue you one. And if you come on our tours, I'm glad to give you one. Richard, excellent question. How hard is it to get English support at a Panama bank? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been here 12 and a half years. I tried very hard, but I am not conversational fluent in Spanish. I still require my lawyers, my doctors, my bankers to speak English. I don't want any problems there. So how hard is it to get English support? It can be quite difficult, Richard, especially in the country, well, even in the city. So the two banks that I'm going to leave you guys with here, Banco General is not that easy to get English support unless you phone them. They do have a press 2 for English. So those for English. And you can talk to somebody. Not even here in Boquete with all the gringos, it's difficult to find someone that's conversational English. On the other hand, the other bank that I've dealt with since I've been here, and I still do all my personal banking with, is Multibank. Now, Multibank is known for being friendly to the expat communities. Here in Boquete, all of their staff are bilingual. And when I say bilingual, like there's some banks that say, "Oh, we have bilingual staff." Well, no, they are, "Hello, how are you?" In English, like my Spanish, right? But their staff are bilingual and their managers are bilingual. But even in the more rural places, Multibank in Las Tablas, example, servicing Pedicee, stuff like that, the manager speaks English. The multi-banks in the city, most of the managers speak English. So other banks, it's come and go. That's why you got to check. Like um, Jeff and Kathy, I have never heard. I don't know why I'm not putting the questions on. Is it true that non-raised typing is destroyed by humidity? I never experienced that in any of my cards. I got a couple cards, like my Costco card, my stuff like that, has the flat typing, and I've never had an issue with it. Hey, Alexander, yes, you can transfer US dollars to your bank to Wise, but I wouldn't advise you to do the exchange if you already have a US currency account that has money in it. But take a look at what you're paying. Go to wise.com, look up their exchange rates, compare it to your bank's exchange rate when you're doing your exchange. And I have seen 1.5 to 2% difference. So, which is huge. Mm-hmm. Okay, we are. Yeah, if you look at this, I don't know how good this shows up on your screen, guys. This is, yeah, $1.73.8 with Royal Bank, and you get 75.4. So 73, 74. So that's 1.75 points better. Okay, now let's back up to where these were out of order. Okay, this is another issue that Canadians have because Google has I'm sorry, US has Google Voice. Now, Google Voice, wait, I got to clear something. Okay, I'll come back to that. Google Voice is free to use in the US. It's not free to use in Canada. Yeah, although it's an excellent system, it's what all of our US lines are on. You would have to pay for it like 15, it'll cost you like $25 a month. So there are better options. Now, the option that I use and we teach our clients and other people have been using is Fongo. Fongo is an app. It's not a SIM card. You're not purchasing a SIM card. You're downloading an app and you're setting it up and you get a free Canadian phone number for free calls to Canada and free incoming calls. Pretty good deal, eh? And then if you want to receive text, it's $18 a year and you can receive text messages too. So you're looking at a buck 50 a month for a Canadian phone. Okay. Now, if you are moving to Panama full time, I recommend a few weeks before you move, try porting your existing Canadian cell to Fongo. And if you're in your Fongo back office on a computer, then you'll see a menu for porting. Porting means most cell phone numbers now, 95% of them are portable to other carriers. So you can take your existing let's say your Rogers or Telus cell phone number and make it work on Fongo and eliminate your Canadian cell phone bill. And when you're down here, your friends and family, nothing ever changes. You can even receive, I'm going to give you one warning here. You need to test this before you leave. Make sure you can receive all your one-time passwords. Again, Michael and I, who's on this call, I want to talk to you later, Michael. So I'm going to bring you on the call. I'm just warning you. We've tested, so many. Royal Bank, CRA, Bank of Montreal, PayPal, like those one-time passwords all work on Fongo. But there's a slight chance, they might not work, especially on your first Fongo temporary number they give you. They should work if you're able to port your number. That, like I say, that's a 95% probability that your number is portable. Canada's low backwards. They're still behind on that. So then once you're in Panama, sign up for, I'm going to recommend Tigo, but check your neighborhood, make sure it has good service. Get a plan starting at 28 bucks. That's basically everything you need. Your Fongo line will work off that data. It obviously works in Wi-Fi, but you can roam on that in US and Canada for up to 6 months at no extra charge. So literally you can have two lines, a Panama number and a Canada number for 30 bucks a month. There we go. Shelly says she just ported TELUS Fongo today and it worked like a charm. Just don't miss the 90-minute window to approve. Yeah, you got to approve that email when it comes. Yes, Phil, it is always recorded on our website under Q&As, retireinpanamatours.com, or on our YouTube channel. Okay, so that is phones. What did I talk about? Bank, health insurance, bank account, Wise, and phones. Those are the biggest. What other things do you guys think are big compared to that Canadians have? Besides that, we don't have Tim Hortons here yet. It's opening next year. I sure hope they use Panama coffee. Any comments of the people that have come back and forth here and found some things are different? Come on, Devo, comment. What do you guys think? So I'm just bringing up the next section. Moving pets. There we go. Yes, no. Moving pets. Yes. Moving pets right now is a little bit of a contentious issue. Okay. So for Canadians, There's not a lot of options. You guys in the West Coast, you're totally hooped, or in the western part of the country, you're going to have to get to Toronto to fly your dog out of the country, out of the U.S. If your dog needs to go in cargo, it's also a contentious issue right now. Mm-hmm. So, because COPA keeps putting these embargoes on that they're not taking dogs in cargo, it's causing everyone a hassle because they're the only ones doing it. So we have tried, like I do, like our company does pet relocation. We do one or two every week, and obviously a lot of to do with Canadians. So typically, it's simple as this: you fly Copa out of Toronto direct to Panama City with your pet on your under the seat, or with your pet in cargo. That's always worked well for many years. Back in May, Copa put a embargo on pets. I don't know why or what happened, and they lifted it. They don't tell us anything. And so right now they're doing it again, but also from November through April, we can use Air Transat, and they will fly pets in cargo. So the procedure is very simple. It's right on, again, on our website. I'm going to show you guys. For those of you who want to know the procedure, I'm going to post it in the chat right now, so I don't have to go through it, because it's we have a couple Q&As on our website and our YouTube channel that you guys can look at. There, I just put the link in the chat. Looks like 4 times, but no, it's only one. Yeah. So 10 days before you see any vet in Canada, and they fill out paperwork for the CFIA, Canadian Food and Drug Inspection Agency. You get that to them to sign. Most vets can do that electronically now, so it's best trying to find one that can, unless you live in one of the major cities, like any big city will have a CFIA office that can sign it. Then it has to go either to the Toronto or the Panama or the Vancouver consulate for authentication. Which is the easiest way to do it. Most airlines are used to that. You can get it apostilled now. I'm still not doing that because the authentication process is very simple and it's always returned properly. But it's just that the people in the network know in Canada has never been part of the apostille system, so they don't want to see an apostle. So I just had some issues with people trying that, and their paperwork getting rejected and me having to plead and beg. But yeah, so then you get it to the consulate and you book your flight and your cargo, and boom, your pet is on its way here. Now, okay, I'm going to start doing some more of it, and I put the exact procedures in the chat. I heard you. Okay. I think I heard you say you never put all your money into a Panama account. You don't want to be taxed in Canada, so where do you put it? I still have a Canadian account. I've been a non-resident of Canada for 10 years. I don't file taxes in Canada or anything. I'm treated as a foreigner with my bank. I have a U.S. address. I do that for the mail system, but they know I live in Panama. Mm-hmm. So they don't tax money in my bank account because I'm a non-resident. But like the biggest thing is for you people that are looking at the tax, I want to go into that. One of the biggest things, should I file for non-residency or not? There's so much misconception on non-residency, folks. I'm going to make you guys a little offer here. I wasn't going to do it, but I think I'm going to do it. I want to meet somebody. We have a guy that we've been working with for years. He has a firm in Vancouver. He's lived in Panama for 12 years. He has an accounting CPA firm in Vancouver and tax firm. He helps people decide if they want to become non-residents. Non-residency is your choice. It's not really the government's choice. Well, in the end, it's the government's choice, but you have to apply for it. If you don't apply for it, nothing is really going to change. You're going to get your pensions. They're going to be taxed as they always have been and deposited into your Canadian bank account. You're going to wire the money down here to live. People have been doing that for 20 years, and Canadian friends of mine here. Because typically, unless you're in a tax bracket or going to be in a tax bracket of more than 25%, there's no need to file non-residency. Because once you file non-residency, you're no longer your pensions are no longer taxed, but they withhold 25%. And then you got to go through the process if it's less than that and you're still a resident of getting it back. So you don't go phone up the government and say, all right, hey, I'm a non-resident now, please withhold 25%. So, and it's not as if they don't withhold 25% of your net check. They start at the they no longer I filed for non-residency in 2014. I'm not receiving my pensions yet, folks. Okay, but if I was, then I would get my entire pension. Let's say my pension is 2,000 less taxes is 1,650. Well, now I would only get 1,500 because it would go back to 2,000 and they would withhold 25%. But if you're going to be in a tax bracket because of cashing in RSPs, because of investments you have in stock markets, and you're going to be in a 35% tax bracket, you probably want to file for non-residency. Now, if you have a higher net worth, or if you want to move, if you want to exit with the least exit taxes, then this link I just put in here is for you. And I will introduce you to this guy personally. And he will give you, only people who fill this in tonight, sorry, you YouTubers, he will give you a 30-minute consult and talk about which way you should be going. Because I can't, I've had a couple of people ask this in the chat, and we would have to have a conversation before I could even answer your question, because everyone is so different. Okay, I got really off track there. Sorry. Sean, what do you miss the most from Canada that you can't get in Panama? I got asked that question a lot. In the beginning, it was Mars bars and ketchup chips. Now it's nothing. I'll probably throw up if I ate a ketchup chip again. I don't miss anything from Canada. We can get almost anything we want here. Anything we can't, I can order from Amazon. And you Canadian Amazon shoppers, you can do that here too. Did you know your login works on Amazon.com too? So you don't even have to change anything. You just shop from Amazon.com. You'll sign up on a freight forwarder in Miami. I won't get into that tonight, but that's standard for everyone who moves to Panama. We don't have a mail system here, so they're not going to mail it to Panama. They don't provide prime shipping to Panama. So they will, you'll ship it to a mail forwarder in Panama and it's forwarded here. So. Filing income tax. Once we live in Panama, can you file taxes online? Yeah, you can file taxes the same way you did before. Many people file their own taxes here themselves online. If the system doesn't work, sometimes they block certain countries around the world. You can use a VPN, or you can get a provider here. There's people here that, like the guy I was talking about, still files taxes for everybody. But I know Canadians who file their own taxes here, and they don't have any issues with it. Hi, Georgia. We are 78 and 80 years young. Are there any insurance? I had spoken about that. This is the one here, guys, right here. I gotta find it. Sorry. Local health insurance. Now, if you guys want to be connected, I'm not gonna, I can't keep saying it. Retireinpanamatours.com. Go to our website. There's a contact form under the More button. There's immigration visas, health insurance, international movers. If you want to be specific, we can introduce you to somebody to assist with that. So yes, I have had 78 and 80-year-olds successfully get this insurance here. And in that price range, about 150 to 160. I should leave the website up there so you guys can find it. Okay. I just lost my place. Do you give tours? This is us, folks. Kenya, we offer 3 types of tours. 7-day cross-country small group tours. Again, 8 to 12 people. 3-day Cherokee Highlands tour. That's for people that are only interested in the mountains in the Boquete, Volcan, David area. It's a very affordable tour, and all our tours are all inclusive. And then private customizable. Now, don't send me, don't send us emails. There's another company out here that does private tours for $250 a day, and they hire local guides, and you have to still make all your hotel arrangements and your food arrangements, your transport. That's not us. We do exclusive private tours run by Oscar, Megan, and myself. So we can't take a ton of them because we sell out fast. The tours are designed for higher net worth individuals, people who don't want, couples who don't want to be in groups, families. We've done families of 6, and we get them into the private schools and do all that stuff. We can get you into Plan B residencies, investments, taxes, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that's what we do. And could have sworn I was showing this. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, that's our tour page on retireandpanamatours.com. So the banners disappear when I do that. That's the website, folks. Okay, moving through the questions. I wonder, yes, you're going to need, there's an official letter that the lawyer will tell you how to get and how to download. It's your pension letter. It's once you're receiving it, not the pre-pension one that says you're going to once you're receiving it. And sometimes the lawyer will even ask for 2 bank statements that show it's being deposited. It's just to make it go through faster. But there is a letter from Services Canada that you will need to get. Again, go to the website. Who are we? Retireandpanamatours.com. Click on the More button. Immigration. I'll introduce you to, honestly, the best lawyer. This is how good the lawyer is. We've been using the exact same lawyer for 12 years. It's when I got here, I quickly told the story that, hey, oops, sorry. I got in trouble, so I needed help, and Oscar rescued me, and he brought me to these lawyers who fixed everything out for me. We're using the same ones today. Margaret and John, hey guys, yeah, W5 at a most ridiculously slanted, ridiculous. I can walk down. I was walking all day Monday with my big Canada flag shirt all over town. So no, there is no. There was one issue that some Canadians were stopped during the protests, but there was nothing violent. Once Panamanians understood that this mining company that employed thousands around the world only had 24 Canadian employees, and they understood it wasn't a Canadian thing. So there's no sentiment against Panamanians. Mm-hmm. We have proof question. We have proof of income, RCMP check, and marriage registration. So what's the next step? Hopefully you already have a lawyer retained, and so they can check those documents to make sure everything is right and tell you which one goes to the notary, which one goes to get apostilled or authenticated at the embassy. So those are the next steps. Mm-hmm. Sorry, we're getting a load of questions. I can't see where recommended person is in Vancouver. No. Yes. Contact us. You need to fill in this form and ask for it. I just put it in the chat. The recommended person, yeah. It'll be a personal introduction. He doesn't allow me to post his name or business because then he just gets a million emails. What's the weather like in Panama? Chris, I'm not going to get in. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a Canadian tax accountant. If you have questions like that, if you're actually thinking of doing this, please fill in that contact form and ask to be connected to someone that can assist you. We don't like, I've done it for like your question seems similar to three other people, but I don't know. I would have to interview for you for half an hour to ask a million questions to be even able to advise on that because everyone's case is so much different. Okay. Sandra, did you just do that now, or it's not that I've never responded to uh, not respond to emails because we are very excellent at emails. If we did miss it, I solely apologize. I solely apologize, Sandra. If it, I'm going to look you up, but if I could get you to do it again, please. I do apologize, and I'll let you know in the email what happened there because I don't recognize the name either, and I typically do. Okay. Well, I have some questions for Mr. Rube. Mr. Rube, can you join me on here? Just when you get a chance, just click on that. A lot of people, way more than US people, and I don't know why. It's the you Canadian. I think us Canadians are still used to heading somewhere south for the winter for at least some time. And we got a couple here that have been back and forth for the last 3 years, 6 months here, 6 months back in New Brunswick. And I wanted to invite them on the call here. Invite. The user was invited. Something should have popped up on your screen, Michael. Car rental company in Coronado. Yes, Coronado Cars. Just Google it. Wonderful people. Coronado Cars. Yeah, CoronadoCarRental.com. I had a question from someone about how to find out if your medicines are available. Michael, still waiting on you if you want to join us. Screen share. Now, if you want to find out if your medicines are available, go to pharmavalue.com. See how it's spelled? FARMAVALU.com. That's Arena. And this is your basic thyroid medicine. So it comes up. I used to buy this for my dog. You can believe it. Let's look at the 100 mcg. Okay. 100 mcg, 50 tablets. It's $14.78 less your pensionado discount. So that's how you tell. And this is the brand here in Latin America. Don't type in the brand. You got to type in the active ingredients. And they sell several brands. Synthroid. It's even cheaper. No, 30 tablets. So it's, and it shows you the price there for 30 tablets. So that's how we find out if our medicines are available. Michael, still not getting the invite, eh? Let me try this one more time, Michael. Maybe because that was an old chat. Invite to studio. See it there? Oops. Yeah. All right, I guess so. We get this question a lot. Is it possible to get my CPP and OAS payments deposited directly into a Panama bank? No, it's not. Currently, the Canada deposits into, I think it's around 15 other foreign banks. They haven't done that with. Oh, there I see Michael. They haven't done that with. You're on, Michael. I'll bring you on in a second. They haven't done that with Panama yet. Hopefully, hopefully soon. So it has to go. Keep getting it deposited into your Canadian bank, and you have to send yourself wires. Okay. What I want. Thank you. How do I join you? Oh, there we go. What? Okay. Michael, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. A little
Okay.
cold.
So, you guys, where are you now?
We're in New Brunswick by the shore and waiting to get back to Panama at the end of September.
Cool. So, this is what will be your third or fourth year doing
Fourth
this?
year.
Fourth year. So, what challenges do you have? And I know you're thinking this could be permanent this time. But what challenges have you had over the last 3 years in moving this back and forth as far as finding a new place? But you guys have lived somewhere different every time.
Yes, well, the initial times that we spent was to get an in-depth feeling for the different areas. So we did do the tour, but we also spent several months in Puerto Armuelles, little fishing village, and then in Boquete, and then in Gorgona, the beaches area. And so each year we've been working on different parts. So we eventually got rid of our apartment, living at the cottage during the summer months, and we got a residency. And now we're looking if we can get health coverage. That will be the final step to allow us to then um, stay longer.
Where did you stay? Tell us little bit about the three different areas that you've stayed in.
Well, the first time was Boquete up in Aramillo, so up above Boquete. Um, that was our first one, and that was just after COVID, so it was a little harder getting around, but quite nice. And the second, as part of that, we met some people from Puerto Armuelles, which is on the Costa Rican border, basically down as far west as you can go and down. And there we stayed about 100 yards from the beach. Um, Little town, um, not much happening in the way of restaurants and stuff. So we found it a little small, but really loved the area. It's kind of picking itself up. And then we decided to, from there, to check out Nueva Gorgona, actually, which is a little close. Well, it's almost right at Coronado, but it's a little Panamanian style town with a couple of high rises on the beach, so we could just walk out to the beach or walk into the town and have the little fondas and the grocery stores. So we had a bit of both, and we really enjoyed that too. Um, but the last couple of months, we had the humidity increasing with the heat, and that became a little difficult.
So this time you're back in the Boquete area in September, right? October.
Yes, indeed. And uh, another thing that we did is that we purchased a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we've had it stored the last couple of years while we're
Yeah. What do you do
gone.
with your vehicle when you're not here?
First time we had a lady down in Pedicey who kept it stored for us and running it every now and then. And this year it's a friend of ours who's a mechanic who's storing it and keeping it running in
Right.
Gorgona. So we'll pick up the car and all our stuff in storage in Gorgona and drive to Bukete.
I'm going to have to meet two of you guys, and then maybe someone from Australia that lives in the other half of the year. I wouldn't have to own a car. Use yours. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do now for healthcare in the 5.5 months that you're here? What have you
Well,
been using?
this has been one of our challenges because right now we have kind of a gold-plated private health insurance through the teachers,
Yeah.
and so it covers all our time in Panama, anything catastrophic, and that's great. The problem is once we get off Medicare, they jetson us, so we lose our private health.
Okay.
So that's how we haven't had to apply each time for health insurance because we're grandfathered into the health plan.
Okay.
Uh, so
Hey,
basically,
here you're gonna obviously have to get your own.
yeah. So then we'd be applying for one of the health plans in Panama, which will cover us because we're still planning on coming to Canada a couple of months of the year. Still have friends and some family. We still have our
Yeah.
cottage,
Okay. Perfect.
but we'd be living in Panama, visiting Canada instead of living two lives, basically.
Right on. Okay, I just wanted to speak to the people. I know there's so many. There's probably 30% of the Canadians that are part timers here.
Yeah,
Do you think my
well,
number?
taking that final step for the healthcare is probably been our biggest hurdle so far.
Yeah. So it can be done. Just a lot of
Oh yeah,
travel in between. I know your trip from wherever you are all the way back to New Brunswick is a nightmare, but yeah,
yeah. Yeah. The last one was 35 hours or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for joining tonight, and get in touch. We'll see you guys soon. I've got a few more questions to answer. We've gone overtime here, but I still want to answer the questions that people have.
Okay.
Perfect.
See ya.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Okay, a few more quick questions, guys. Car ownership, bus, Uber, taxi, all depends on you and where you live. The issue is, okay, if you live in the city, you don't need a car. It's as simple as that. If you don't want a car, you don't need a car. So if you live outside of the city, taxis and like here, and I can give you an example of Boquete. Um, I, I, if I didn't have a business, I probably wouldn't need a car. I live right downtown. I can walk to anything. But the issues are, come 9 p.m., 9:30, there's not really many taxis left. And Uber is only in Panama City and David. So it isn't in the smaller centers. So it's going to be depending on your lifestyle and what you need it for. So I like a car. I like to go to the beach. I like to go to PriceMart and load up with, 144 pack of toilet paper, stuff like that, save myself some money. But, it's going to be totally up to you. Richard, can you start as an investor for residency and switch to a pensionado? There's no reason to, Richard, because as soon as you turn 60 and your wife turns 55, you get the pensionado discounts no matter what visa you came in on. So and the whole thing about rescinding one residency to get the other, it's a complicated, expensive thing. So if it's just the discounts you're looking for, it doesn't matter. You get them anyways. Anyone in any residency in Panama, once they reach the age, receive the pensionado discounts. They're actually called jubilado discounts. Is their actual name. Biting bugs during the different seasons. Well, we have on the beaches we have noceums. We're the real tiny ones because you can't see them, don't see them, and they come out early morning and just before, like around dusk. We do have mosquitoes, but nothing like Saskatchewan, folks. Like it would take 10 mosquitoes to be the size of one Saskatchewan place. Mhm. So I actually have found it to less bugs than Canada. And except obviously in Canada, we don't have bugs through more than half a year. Repeat. Oh, I think I answered that. Yeah, if you're gonna live in Pedicee, Las Tablas, yeah, you think you need I think you need a car. But I'm not a public transit guy myself. There is public transit all over the place. If you don't mind it, that's fine. Okay, let me scroll up, guys. Any last minute questions? Now remember, guys, fill out that form. I'm not going to answer you tonight either, guys. I'll be answering everyone in the morning. I'm just scrolling through, make sure I didn't miss anything. A lot of good questions. We went a bit over time, but that's fine. 1 month there. Vaccines for entry. There is no vaccine requirements for entry or residency in Panama whatsoever. Is there a minimum income we must have to move there? If you're coming on a pensionado visa, yes, there's a minimum income of $1,000 a month, US dollars, for a single, $1,250 for a married couple. Medicines, we did that. Decide whether to go non-resident, we did that. Did we give tours? Yes, we give tours. Any problems with the Friendly Nation visa? And two, I know many people. We've helped many people to get that Friendly Nations visa with the CD. I actually prefer to real estate because if you're buying buying real estate for investment, fine, go ahead. But if you're buying real estate to live, give yourself 6 months to a year to decide whether or not you like it there. Yeah, that's a very general statement, Jay. The 25% exit tax, very, very general. There's many ways you can do to minimize your exit taxes by talking to a proper accountant. And go to our website, fill out the contact form, and ask your question, and I will connect you directly to that person. Okay, I think we are almost done. Perfect. Yes, disability pensions are accepted as pensions, just like CPP. So that's not an issue. Well, guys, I thank you very much for joining us for this 1 hour Q&A. That went 1 hour and 20 minutes, but hey, that's fine. I enjoyed it. But next week we have part 2 of Meet the Expats, and yes, Oscar will be back. And last month we met expats throughout Cherokee. Next week we're making expats from Panama City through the Coronado area down to Pedicee. So we're going to interview them, and you can ask them questions directly. How to find our Q&As? The best thing to do, folks, you want to get to our Q&As, go to this page. I'm putting it in the chat. They're always listed there, but there is a big button. Just look at this. This is the perfect thing. I'm going to screen share. If you go to the Q&A page, there's a button here, add to calendar. You can select your calendar that you have on your phone or your computer, and it'll add all of our Q&As to the calendar. And anytime we add a new Q&A, it will appear on your calendar. You can do that without giving us your name, email, anything. So, and again, our tours, check them out. Come with us. We'd love to have you. We not only show you the country, we're going to help you move here. All right, folks, I'm going to sign off, say goodbye. No one's leaving yet. I don't see any new questions. Okay, that made people leave. See ya, Michael. You're on stage again. You got your
hi.
All righty. I'm just saying goodbye now.
Goodbye.
See ya. See you all. See ya, Brian, Maureen. See ya, Mary.